everybody. Welcome back to SC Playbook, the EPL edition. My name's Alex Molchanoff. Alongside me today, Matty Jurman. Matty, the water boy, over there behind the panel. And we've got a first timer today, Daniel Garb, one of the famous faces in Australian football. Nice to have you as part of the SC Playbook family, mate.
Hello, Maestro. Nice to work with you again, mate. We've done a bit on SCN together. But great to be here in these. First time I've seen it. Unbelievable. I mean, I know so much about this place, but it looks fantastic. So delighted to be on board.
No, great to have you.
Sheffield United top. That
exactly.
That is
well, we've got to give him some love. They couldn't get back up, knocked out very harshly by Sunderland. So, we just got to give them some love. Make sure they're not forgotten because they've not had a bright start either. So I am brave wearing this in today. We'll get to your boys, Liverpool, very, very shortly. Reminder, if you are listening, the SC Playbook Super League is still open. $1,000 first prize if you're an SC Playbook subscriber. $500 to the winner and top subscriber if the winner is not a subscriber to SC Playbook. And on being a subscriber, you can join the SC Playbook community for just $2 a week. It's less than your daily cup of coffee. It gets you access to numerous premium deep dive articles on our website every week, as well as access to our WhatsApp community, which has already been going off with team news updates, contributor groups, and you can trade team advice with other members of the community. If you're into your NRL, NFL, cricket as well, all those branches of Supercoach are amongst our community, and that is $2 a week. Only $2 a week that gets you all of that. Head to scplaybook.com.au and subscribe in the main menu. Teams performances, Matty Jurman, terrific start, sir. 126 points, top of us sitting here. Haaland, Salah. I have to say, Garby, you had it both in as well. Overall thoughts?
The rest.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll get to you in a second. But Matty brought in Livramento late. Mickey Van der Ven had a good idea. It must have been a fun weekend of Premier League watching for you.
Yeah, it was. There was a few late transfers in.
Yes.
It always happens when you're looking at your squad and you're trying to manoeuvre things. Especially Timmy. Timmy gave me a bit of a hint.
Bit of a word up. Should we get there straight away? So people that have been active in the WhatsApp group will have been learning about VC looping, which is something people that are in the cricket and NRL sphere are already familiar with in the game. So, Matty, you talk us through. You had Salah captained. Vice captain. Yeah. He started well. So you're giving yourself essentially a double shot at the captaincy over the weekend. And Harry Tyra is you and my man at the moment, sitting in goal, third choice Everton goalkeeper.
Yeah, what a guy!
Exactly. He's going to become one of the most picked Supercoach players over the first 6 weeks. So we both switch our captaincy over to him, knowing he won't play. Our goalkeeper will be brought in, and that double points will go to your vice captain. So you stuck with Salah. Was there any thought of leaving it for Haaland on the Saturday?
No, there was. And, I thought about either him or Palmer. But in the end, I thought, I've done this before in the week before in NRL, and it didn't go well for me. So I thought I'm just going to bank the points early. Make sure I got Salah's points. 30 coming. Happy days. And leave it there.
Garby, I was surprised to see you did actually captain Haaland rather than Salah. Thinking behind that going into week one.
Yeah, I thought Haaland would definitely score.
Right.
I actually didn't know you could loophole in this league.
So this is part of it. We're learning together.
Yeah, I'm a big AFL fantasy man, so I know what the loophole is. I didn't know you could do it in Supercoach because you can't in FPL, right?
Well, and that's the thing. We don't get the auto emergency penalty that they seem to in AFL and NRL as well. So it is a no-brainer. You should be doing it every week, and if you can't, make sure you get up on the SC Playbook website and have a read up on how it all works.
So I'm an asset for this pod and in general because I'm a guinea pig.
Right.
I'm very new to Supercoach. I've done fantasy Premier League my whole life, so I'm learning all these little tricks with the game. So I think I'm the perfect person to have. I'll probably finish in a poultry position, but we'll learn as I go. I actually want you to guide me through some potential changes this week, Molchi, because I had a couple of good picks. Happy with David Raya. I'm a big fan of Tyrick Mitchell. I think the Palace fullbacks and wingbacks are going to be huge assets this season. Obviously, Salah and Haaland. Odegaard was solid.
Yes.
But there's a few players there who missed the mark that I need to make some changes on. So maybe we can talk through some good options going into this week.
We'll go team by team. So I've got your two ahead of me. Let's start with Liverpool because they're featured heavily in all three of our teams. A 4-2 win over Palace. Hugo Ekitike looks fantastic and is an option a lot of people are moving to. Cody Gakpo, Federico Chiesa, and then Salah makes a lot of people happy over the weekend by getting that goal late.
Yeah.
The big talking point, though, is the Frimpong substitution. He's got a 10-day turnaround. First of all, Garby, I'll go to you. What did you make of Liverpool as a whole? They still look a little loose defensively, carrying on from the Community Shield performance.
Very early days. The substitutions I thought were odd to take both fullbacks off at that time. I didn't think that was necessary. I know they were 2-0 up, but Bournemouth looked pretty solid throughout. I think if he had his time again, Slot would have maybe just taken one off or waited another 5-10 minutes until they just killed a bit more time. So that's probably a bit of an error from the great man. The thing with Frimpong is I feel as if the narrative on him has been skewed because he came in so soon after Trent left. So Trent left, right? Devastation. They signed Frimpong so early, it's almost as if that hole's been filled. You're not going to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold. Like, you're talking about arguably the greatest right back in Liverpool history. And from a fantasy point of view, an incredible scorer. But because he came in so early, it's like, oh yeah, we've got that one sorted. Frimpong's there. They're all okay. With all due respect to Frimpong, and he might do very, very well this season, he'll be a pretty good player. He's not going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold. Ever. Like, ever. Trent is a legend, like all time. Whatever you think about him going to Madrid doesn't take away from what he was as a footballer. And so I feel as if that's almost been lost a little bit. I'm a massive Kirkesh fan. Robertson was dropping off, so that's a great signing, and I think he'll be a great Supercoach player as well. But I think the gap between Trent and Frimpong is going to be bigger than people have given it credit for throughout the season.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good shout. He's come in obviously trying to replace Trent, like you said. It's a hard thing to do, especially a Liverpool legend. But yeah, I think he got brought off because of the injury, right? And
yeah,
I think,
it was precaution. They're saying it's precautionary, so we'll see what happens. What I want to ask you, Matty, is how sustainable is it for Liverpool to play the way they're playing? Because Frimpong and Kirkes bomb on, and they don't just bomb on; they both go. They are at times playing so high, and without Gravenbach there, it does make me wonder how sustainable Liverpool defending in that manner is as they push for a premiership. It makes me wonder how valuable someone like Virgil van Dijk becomes, knowing how much pressure he's going to have to absorb if they continue to play in that manner.
Well, you see, like, Liverpool control most of the games, and it gives the license to these fullbacks to go forward and get involved in their attack. And I think as the season goes on, they'll get a lot more. Just used to playing with each other, especially the new guys that have come in. They're both fullbacks, both from other teams, and as the season goes on, they'll get used to playing together. And I think as a defence, they'll cop a lot less goals, and especially with Gravenberch out, he's a big key for us in the back, and for the whole team really. He's the link between both. So I think once he comes back in, he'll shore up the defence as well.
He's back in this week, so that'll help. Yeah, the second goal I think is Endo's fault. You watch it. He for some reason he goes into the box and there's already like 6 guys in there. He left them 2 and 2 on the back.
He's not right
he
back
just
though.
runs straight, doesn't he? So,
he doesn't usually do that. I think Endo's been really good, but that was just a brain fade. And then fair play Bournemouth and Semenyo had a great game. He could be a real asset throughout the season. Took advantage of it in a 2-on-2, but if he stays back, Endo, he probably breaks that up. It was just a weird move by him.
Happens first game of the season. We're expecting stuff like that. Florian Wirtz, so much talk about him coming into the season. Sort of floated around the periphery of this game, didn't really get involved. Can you see that change at all, Garby? Is it just a matter of first game?
He should work into it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on him. It's a massive price tag, huge expectations. He's adjusting to the league. Maybe it's true that he just sort of tries to work his way in. It's a different style to Germany. I think we'll see him break past the lines a bit more as he settles. But it was a slightly cumbersome debut for him, I think it's fair to say. You can see the quality. But I think we've all watched enough Premier League and seen enough big signings come in and need to adjust. Not all, some hit the ground running, but give it a couple months before you really start analysing where he's at. But I think we're expecting a lot more. Yeah,
he's on corners, so that keeps him as a consistent threat for Supercoach players as well. The final one I want to ask you about, Matty, is Hugo Ekitike. How do you go marking up against this guy? And at 6.5, he's someone I'm sort of having a glance sideways at, particularly if you're like an Ollie Watkins owner at some point down the track. He's someone who you could be able to get in for a fraction of the price and perhaps upgrade elsewhere as Aston Villa's season goes on.
Yeah, I mean, he's come in and he looks top shelf, to be honest. I mean, obviously he's got a good pedigree coming from where'd he come from? Frankfurt.
Yeah,
Frankfurt,
where he was.
Yeah, and he's a top player. He wants to score goals. You can see he's hungry, and he's the number one man up front for us at the moment. So. Yeah, he's definitely one I'm keeping an eye on. I think Watkins has good fixtures coming up though. So
yes, he does.
It's a tough one to sell him now. I think I'll be holding up, especially the front three. But yeah, no, there's definitely something to think about.
Yeah, well, you've gone that overpowered front three, haven't you, with Haaland, Salah, and Watkins in there. So there's been a bit of a spend there.
Standing steady for now.
Yeah, exactly. Garby, remind me, you got up front. Oh, you got Beto from Everton in there as well. So that'll be interesting to see.
Beto will be okay.
Yep.
I'm expecting more from Everton. I mean, as Grealish settles in, I think that'll add a lot to their creativity. Dwight McNeil didn't play, and I'm a huge Dwight McNeil fan. The issue is he just struggles to get on the park.
Yeah.
But if he does, along with Grealish, I think they can give Beto some decent service.
Yeah.
The thing I like about him is he's pretty cheap and he's going to start just about every game, right? Even if he has a bad run, they're still going to keep playing him. So I like him as that third forward. Doesn't cost too much, and I think he'll pay you back in time.
Well, let's stay there because that Everton Leeds game is fresh in our memory. Not too much of notes other than Leeds getting the win, obviously, which is fantastic. Daniel Farke's third crack at things as players with Premier League experience. Joe Rodon is a popular cheapie amongst everyone, goes down with a clean sheet, which is a fantastic start. Everton looked so Everton in this game, didn't they? And it's just the sort of game you expect them to drop points in, even with all the attacking talent. Grealish comes off the bench late. Dewsbury Hall, someone who's been talked about a lot. How is that all coming together in your view, Garby? Like, there is so much attacking talent. Well, you've just told us. You think it's going to get there eventually?
I think so. I'm worried, though, about Grealish, Matty, because we've seen a lot of times when players leave top clubs and go back down, they really struggle with it. You know, whatever happens, like he's already been there. He's been at Villa. He's been the main man. He's won his things at City. He's made all his money. He comes back and it's just the motivation drops a little bit, and you're not quite in that same level of quality and professionalism in terms of a dressing room and training standards. I mean, you've been out on the park, so you know what it's like more than anyone. But I just worry that he could be a superstar for them, but maybe he'll just flatter to deceive a little bit because that drive just won't quite be there. Maybe he gets a little bit frustrated that he's not, you know, with the same level of talent as he has been at City. Yeah,
I think he's gone there to re-establish himself, you know, as a Premier League player. One of the top players that can create as well, and he's from memory, he's not that old, right? He should be around 30 or 29, maybe. I mean, he's got things to prove still. He's obviously won things. He's been there, done that with Villa and Man City, but I think he's gone to Everton because he wants to play, you know. So it's there's going to be a lot of pressure on him as well to help Everton because, you know, they did struggle a little bit last year, but yeah, I see him being the one that creates, you know, for the striker that you brought in, and also Barry. I think Barry's also. So
he was touted to be one of the starters early in the year. So I'm interested to see if that rotation keeps going. You remember Beto's price off the top of your head, Garby? He's one of those mid-low. Yeah, he's one of those mid-low tiers, isn't he? So that's going to be very interesting to see. Yeah. How long are you willing to give them to get it right?
The first month.
Okay.
I'll give them a month. I think they'll be okay, Everton. It's whether Moyes gives, you know, Grealish the license a little bit to
That was what worried me. Yeah. It was the fact there was not a lot of they didn't look particularly fluid in the way they were attacking. And I know Leeds are disciplined and they're set out in their shop, and, you know, they're trying to get a result in their first game back in the Premier League on a Monday night. Like, there's a lot of things that work against Everton there, but I just have my eyes on them very, very briefly going forward. Okay, Arsenal United was the marquee fixture of the round. There's a lot of talk about whether Arsenal have the cutting edge. They got the goal here, but Saka, Martinelli, Gyökeres, not really in full flight, and Man United had the better of this game. I think on balance of play, probably deserved to win it with the new signings, Cunha and Buemo. I know they don't pick up statistics here, but I think for those that have invested in them, you can have a look, and if they do eventually drop down in price, which they may well do, they could be options further down the track given their output in previous seasons. But your thoughts on Arsenal first, Matty? Like, are the fans concerns about their lack of cutting edge? You know, Are they real yet, or is this just a hangover from last season? They're away at Old Trafford. A 1-0 win is a good result.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you start the season off at Old Trafford. It's never an easy game, even though they haven't been great for quite a few years now. As an Arsenal fan, you've got to be happy with the 1-0 win away from there to start the season, I think. And then, they've got some new players that have come in, and they're going to take a bit of time as well. So, if I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Some concerns up front. Your Kerej looks slower than a week in jail.
Yeah.
But he'll get into it.
Yeah.
He'll develop. Defensively, I think they're going to be really strong this season.
Yeah.
I think there are reasons to be encouraged because Raya's, there was obviously a lot of change in the goalkeeping ranks last year, but he had a really good game. Yep. He's had a pretty good preseason. And Saliba and Gabriel have been there for a while now. Yeah. They're so well established. Now they've got a keeper who they've got a bit more confidence in.
It's their 4th season together. Yeah. And just don't miss games.
So those 3, I think, are going to be the backbone of the Gunners this year. Obviously, Rice gives them a lot of steel in midfield. Odegaard as well. Yeah. Saka will get back to his best. And then if your Kerej hits top form, I think it's going to be really tight between City, Liverpool and Arsenal all season long. But I agree. I thought United were good. I must say, I think their issue is going to be defensive. The defensive acumen. I mean, the keeper mistake was bad. He's going to mess around with his keepers, it feels like, all season. They're not really going to be established. Defensively, they don't seem that strong. But I thought Cunha looked really good. He's in Mbemo, Man United quality in an attacking sense. Maybe not, but he's going to work hard. He's going to score the odd goal.
Tried the spectacular. Didn't quite come off on one of the occasions. Yeah.
And Sesko will take some time, but he's obviously got the quality. So there's reason to be encouraged about them in an attacking sense. Obviously, with Bruno's been there so long, I just think defensively they might just leak too many goals this season.
And they've got a fairly kind start to the season, so I don't think anyone that had Fernandes in from the start will be jumping off that bandwagon quite yet. Other options back there, so funny. You said you weren't particularly impressed with him defensively. I thought someone like Eleni Yoro could be someone that people are looking to pick up cheap because there was a trident of them that were brought in. Yoro, of course, in his 2nd season, but had that poor run of fitness last year. I think he could be someone that if you're looking at someone underpriced that's perhaps going to have a good run for 4 or 5 weeks before you eventually get rid of them, he could be an option in that sort of scenario. Arsenal, their midfield, I think is really strong. Rice, Zubimendi, Odegaard, they're going to provide points for each other. I still think Odegaard's the pick of the 3, just because of, one, the price point after a slow end to last season. He's going to be on a lot of set pieces. Rice took one of the free kicks from memory, but he's taken all the corners and that sort of thing. So he's going to tot up a few assists. The other one I was impressed by on the United side of things was Jeremy Dorgu getting forward. The way that Amorim has set them up means he's getting forward in a lot of space. So it's going to be interesting to. He's one I'm going to be tracking for the next few weeks to see, one, if he's playing consistently, and 2, if he's continuing to show that sort of form. Let's go to Manchester City 4, Wolves 0. Erling Haaland with a double, and this man Reinders. Those who got him in to start, we tip our cap to you. 6.5 mil. He is very much value. And then Cherky comes off the bench. It's back to Guardiola. Everything he's touching is turning to gold. Reinders is going to be in this team whether Rodri returns or not. I was saying to Matty just before we started recording, it's like they've found Kevin De Bruyne again already. It's sickening. Like, as the rest of the competition, what are you sitting there doing? Do you agree with that, Matty? Just the way he moves, the way he was progressing the ball is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, what a player. I mean, obviously he's come from a big club in Italy, from Milan, and a goal and assist, and he just looked like he was creating everything for him. So, he's one that you definitely want to have in your team.
Yep.
He looked good, really good. He's probably the one, along with Haaland, that you lock in. Yep. So that's always been the thing with City and fantasy is rotation. Who's going to be a regular starter. So De Bruyne was there for a while until the injuries got the better of him. Obviously Haaland. Marmoush, I think a lot of people thought would be the player, but now it's like, well, where does he fit in? He probably doesn't. So,
in fact, he started Oscar Bob.
Reinders will probably be the one. Oscar Bob, I don't think, he'll get rotated
in and out.
The rest, I think, will. Cherky and Reinders, I think, will play a lot. You've also got someone like what's his name? The winger, Doku.
Jeremy Doku.
Doku's quality.
Yeah.
And whenever he plays, he scores. But do you have the confidence that he'll start enough?
Yeah.
You'll probably say no, and then he'll end up starting like 90% of games. You go, why didn't I have him?
Yeah.
Right? Because it is so hard to pick.
But you got to stay away from him.
It's just difficult. And defensively, they rotate as well.
Yeah. No, you're
like Nuno Reis looks like really good value at the moment. He's played on the weekend and scored well. I think he probably is the one they rotate around.
Yeah.
But there's still a bit of risk factor there.
Gvardiol was the one everyone was expecting, and then he doesn't get a start. Perhaps that's precautionary. We'll see what happens. Bernardo Silva's the other interesting one for me. He and Phil Foden are priced very similarly, around 7.9. I think Silva's going to see a lot of the field during the league season, just the fact he's the captain now, right? He's been brought in, given that responsibility, been at the club for a long time. I think in terms of with Pep trying to basically create his third iteration, he's going to be given a lot of responsibility. Anything more to say?
He's a little bit deeper though, and maybe just
that's a very good point as well.
A little bit older, captain.
He was playing through the middle on the weekend versus we've seen him play out wide a lot. So,
and then when Rodri comes back as well, that's going to change everything. So
even though Nico Gonzalez starting there, I think is encouraging for people that are keen on Reinders because it looks as though he's very set on him playing one of the eights. Yeah. So, if you've got him in, very well done. Very well done. Villa Newcastle, this was the early game on Saturday night, finished 0-0, and Villa have been a popular pick amongst Supercoach players. Ollie Watkins at the head of that, but Morgan Rogers as well. They looked less than impressive at home, and a lot of the reason that they've been a favourite of Supercoach players is because of the favourable draw. They go Brentford away, Palace home, Everton away over the first month. Garby, this is going to be very, very interesting to see how it all unfolds. They we've got the trust in the manager and Emery, but they looked slow.
They need a big name signing.
Right.
They need to find an attacher.
Okay. Because you don't think Watkins the man?
No, Watkins is the man. Yeah. But he's been there for a while. They've all been there. You look at their front four. All right, they're good.
Yeah.
But who's coming through to give a little bit of X factor?
Yeah.
Who's exciting them, driving them on a little bit? It's just a lot of same, right? Yeah. I mean, Tielemans a very good player, but does he have that, spark? Not necessarily, but he kind of wears you down.
They didn't look like they were going to go up a gear, did they? Through the entirety of that game. And Newcastle
they're relying too much on Watkins right now.
Yeah.
Everyone's putting their hope in him getting back to his absolute best, and that'll make Villa top 6, which they could well finish again. But it feels like if they brought in just a big name signing before the end of the window in an attacking sense, it'd just give them all a bit of X factor and a bit of a lift. Up the back, Ezri Konsa, one of the popular picks amongst the Supercoach fraternity as well, sent off. Matty, what are you seeing with Villa? Are they going to be solid enough defensively? Emi Martinez not playing yet. There's been some rumours about a transfer, but it looks like he's going to stay for now. Obviously staying away for the moment, but can you see yourself going for any of them down the track?
If I was going to go for one, I'd probably look at Matty Cash.
Yeah.
Maybe. He likes to get forward, and I'm not sure how much he is in the game, but he's always a good defender to have.
One of the most traded in after week one. So
well, there you go.
People are picking up what you're putting down. The other note out of this game is Alexander Isak, who was thought to be someone we might be looking at down the track in Supercoach. Newcastle and he both releasing statements on social media seeming that this impasse is not going to be solved by the end of the transfer window. They've got 10 days, Garby. You've been part of the hustle and bustle over there during transfer windows. One, have you seen anything like this? And two, can you see it getting solved?
Yeah, it's happened plenty of times before, and it usually ends one way. Yeah. The club ends up selling. I don't think anyone's expecting Newcastle to hold their nerve all the way through. That'd be the most surprising outcome of all of this because there's such a risk involved, right? Like, okay, we're holding him to it. We're taking the high moral ground, but then what if he just doesn't perform or just refuses to play? And then he gets integrated again, and he sort of buys in a bit, but plays like rubbish.
You lose the price tag as well.
The price value starts dropping. The team's form starts dropping. The dressing room are all angry at him, right? So it just can derail your entire season. Whereas they can take what would still be the same price that Liverpool are offering, which is huge money, sell him and move on. And the players are happy and the fans are furious at Isak, but the talk just settles down a little bit. It feels like that'll be the outcome. But, you never quite know. It's the exciting part of it, right?
Just going back to Liverpool, are you surprised how much money they spent in the offseason? I wonder if they look back at that last premiership campaign where they did win it and then didn't spend in the offseason and perhaps trying to avoid making the same mistake, maybe with just...
I think
they've
also sold a lot of players as well.
have.
Yeah.
Like if you see the amount of money they've actually sold some younger players, but
And they've made a lot of money over the years. Like they won the Premier League. They've been in the Champions League for years. Like
I guess the talk is, though, it's not a Liverpool thing to do. They're not known for doing this like clubs like Real Madrid, Man City, Man United. It's a change in direction.
they did sell. The only signing they made last year was Chiesa, right? So, I mean, they've
been saving.
Yeah, they've saved a lot of money in the last few years. So, and they didn't get much money for Alexander-Arnold, but I mean, they've had to reinvest in the squad if they wanted to keep winning things.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And Nunez has gone and Diaz has gone. And there's the Jota tragedy, and then there's a couple others that they've had to go and buy, and Kwanzaa left on decent money. So I don't think the discrepancy net-wise is that large. But Isak will obviously change that, which will be a huge signing if they get him. It'll alter fantasy enormously because Ekitike all of a sudden drops, and it'll be an amazing move for the whole league.
I can see it in your eyes how excited you are about it.
I'm actually not as bullish.
He's got his jersey already.
I'm not as bullish about Isak as others. I'm really not. I think it's an exciting story. He's a great striker, a wonderful finisher. He's injury prone. Always has been throughout his career. Now, it wasn't that bad last year, but he's always got a soft tissue injury in him. So I'm not as of the opinion as others that Isak signs Liverpool in the league done. I think he's still got to apply a bit of caution.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
particularly the way City played that first week. Just quietly. Okay, let's go a bit further down the table. Spurs 3, Burnley 0, Richarlison with a double. Suddenly, there's a little bit of spark about him. Are they going to play a 2 with him and Solanke up front? What's going to happen there? Brennan Johnson scoring. Van de Ven, Sarr, Porro, all scoring well. They're suddenly looking very attractive, Spurs, partly because of the downturn in form they had towards the end of last season. You're a big fan, I know, of Mickey van der Ven, Matty. It's all looking very good. And Pape Sarr, he was everywhere, man, during that game. Fantastic start for Spurs, albeit against Burnley, but positive signs.
Yeah, good signs for Spurs. Obviously, against Burnley, you'd expect to win at home. Clean sheet as well, which is important, and Sarr, he's playing in that 10 role where he can roam around a bit. Obviously if they sign Eze from Crystal Palace, that'll change. But positive signs for Spurs. I think it'll be hard to drop Richarlison after scoring those two beautiful goals.
The second,
but I don't know if I'd invest in him at the moment. Just on the fact of you just don't know.
The other one to look at here from a Spurs perspective was Destiny Udogie, who a lot thought was going to start, but Thomas Frank was pretty consistent in pre-season that he was keen on Jed Spence. That turned out to be the case in the first day of the season. So we'll have a look at some of the cheap defenders you can bring in, because there's been a couple that have been set against, not least the Burnley side of things, Garby. Kyle Walker, one of the most bought in the game because of the value, because of the name, playing as the right-sided centre-half in a back three. He's not going to be a big scorer this year, particularly if Burnley continue defending like they did on the weekend.
It's just the clean sheets that are going to kill you, right? I get why you would. He's cheap and he can get forward. And maybe in the odd home game he contributes enough, but your clean sheet confidence is very, very low.
Hey, how are you feeling about Esteve, Matty?
I liked what I saw from him, but it's just hard to know with clean sheets, similar to what Garby was saying. It might be good with a few price rises, hopefully, and then just flick him on to someone else.
I'll give you the tip. If you've got your heart set on a Burnley defender, I think Quindalicia Hartman is the man. I think I mentioned it to you a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. I think he's the man. He's obviously fairly set as their left wing back. I think he's going to be playing consistently. And if you think Burnley have some sort of capability of not replicating, but getting close to the defensive record they managed last season in their championship, I think he might be the man. Right, let's go to Chelsea versus Palace. Funny game, this one. Cole Palmer is coming under fire already for some Supercoach owners just because of the slow start to the season. And Steve Nikolovsky, who writes for SC Playbook, made this point in his piece coming out of the weekend. He has been a little bit ordinary for a long time either side of the World Cup, and that is the exception, right? But his last league goal was 5 games ago against Liverpool towards the end of last season. He's got just 2 league goals and 2 league assists since January last year. That's a 15 game stretch. Another one of the experts is SC Playbook, Harry West, who goes through all the Quantium data and is actually leading our internal SC Playbook mini league after round 1. Has him as a lock just based on Chelsea's fixtures. Garby, Chelsea as a whole at the moment, coming off that Club World Cup, I was expecting actually a quick start from them. It doesn't look like it's going that way. Albeit Palace are not the easiest opening day.
I like Palace a lot. I think they're going to be a real improver. Massive Mateta fan. Glasner's an impressive manager. Jimmy Holland's there on the coaching staff.
Yes.
You see that? Is he? Yeah. Played under Glasner at Lask in Austria.
Wow.
16-time or 17-time Socceroo, James Holland. Community Shield, I literally saw him. I was just watching
there's James. There's a Socceroo.
Hang on, I recognise that face. It's James Holland. I messaged him. He goes, "Yeah, join the coaching staff."
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So anyway, look, I'm not giving him all the credit for Crystal Palace's opening day performance, but I think there's a lot of reason to be encouraged. If they keep those fullbacks fit, especially Munoz and Mitchell, they're going to cause a lot of problems for defences. They're excellent players. So yeah, they're going to take points off teams throughout the season. Yeah, Chelsea weren't great. I had Palmer in a draft league last year, still won the league, but my goodness, he gave me headaches throughout the second half.
I was going to push you on this because you're the one out of us three that doesn't own him. So I was going to ask why.
Well, I think because of the Salah Haaland investments.
Right.
I know you probably got him as well, but it's just harder to fit him in with the other players that I wanted. But it worked out all right week 1.
Yes.
Didn't punish me too much, even though I didn't have a great week. But it probably will come back to bite me in the end. I might have to find a way to try and get him in because I think he will fire. But it's probably getting into his head a little bit now, right? Like he acts like such a cool dude, and he's got this shtick with the press conferences where he does this deadpan face, doesn't say anything. But I don't care how nonchalant he might be about it. His form for Chelsea in the league for a while now has been he's been playing okay, but he just can't score. That's got to get in your head a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And I think he knows there's a lot of Supercoach people.
Exactly.
He has been a popular pick over the last few years, so it'll be interesting.
Could be on the right path,
I like Cucurella. Cucurella's my Chelsea man.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be the one where he's going to play every week and they're going to defend well enough.
I went Malo Gusto, and he's, funnily enough, ended up being my first trade out. So interesting to see how everything goes there. Getting towards the end of the podcast, but make sure you're subscribing to us on SC Playbook. We'll be back with Matty and Garby as many weeks as we can. We'll be here as a group every week, whether it's all the three of us. We'll see how we go. The final game I want to get to, and this is more just a personal love story for Chris Wood, and what a terrific human, what a terrific striker, 33 years old, had his career season last year. I was encouraging people to fade him. If you didn't,
that as well, yeah.
If you didn't, 5 minutes in, just a goal scorer's goal, Matty. He's funny. I always think he must be funny to play against because he doesn't offer any, he's a physical presence, but he doesn't look particularly intimidating, and then he just bangs them in.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was the first or the second goal where they've lost the ball and he's just started running the opposite way because he knew that the ball was coming. And it's just he's got that understanding with their midfield as soon as they win the ball to make those moves behind and the runs behind. And for me, I steered clear from Nottingham Forest because I thought maybe defensively they were going to be good, but they hadn't scored many goals in the preseason. I know preseason is not always a good indication, but just didn't think they would hit the ground like that. So, it was interesting to see.
Yeah, I thought that fade as well. But they played Brentford, who I think a lot of people are going to hang on. They're going to be a relegation candidate. They got a great keeper in Kelleher, but you can't rely on his shot stopping ability the whole time. You've got to give him a bit of protection. He was hung out to dry a lot. So, they're a worry, big time. But yeah, well done to Forest. I think he's 1 goal off for Duca all time in the Premier League now, Chris Wood. So, it's going to be the number 1 Oceania goal scorer of all time. Happy for him. I thought he might dip, but it is great for our region that he's doing what he's doing.
Impressive start to the season for Forest. Igor Thiago is the other watch from a Supercoach perspective out of this game. Is thought of as someone who might be seeing a fair bit of time. This is his second season at the club. Very injury affected last year for Brentford, took the penalty late and gets the score as a result of that. So if you're looking for a cheap striker and you're not keen on whoever you've had there, he'd be the one I'd be looking at, particularly just scrolling ahead here. Brentford at home to Aston Villa in the second week of the season. And then they are travelling to Sunderland. So not the easiest 2 fixtures, but hey, he's going to see game time and who knows? Matty, you got your heart set on a trade yet this week, or are you looking to hold? There's a lot of players looking to hold because of the limited trade situation that we have.
Yeah, not too sure, to be honest.
You You had a pretty good week. I think I'd be holding if I were you.
Look, if I'm going to make a trade, I'd probably look at my team.
We'll come back to you.
I've got more to do. I've got to get rid of McNeil.
Yes.
So that's the big one.
What price points is he sitting at the moment, Garby?
I know, but he's got to be moved off. Give me a tip. Who am I going for, Matty?
I'll give you mine while we're all waiting. So I've taken out Malagusto. I thought he might get that start over Reece James, given his fitness as well. Wasn't to be the case. He's come out. I've gone for Rico Lewis. I think he's going to get a quick run of the team until Vardiol is fully fit, and even maybe Vardiol slots into the centre of defence for City. So at a cheap price, knowing his price will improve after that first up performance where he scored 20 points. So I'm happy to have him in for 3 or 4 weeks and just see where he lands.
Yeah, I need to get rid of Udogie and Grealish. They're the two, not McNeil. It's Grealish.
You're not going to hold Grealish?
I think Grealish I'm going to move. I've got Beto there already. It's too many Everton players. Yep. There's too much of a worry there. Grealish and Udogie I'll be moving out. I like Minter. I think he'll be fine. I'm not too worried about him. Kirkej will lift, and Beto's not worth getting rid of now at his price. So Udogie and Grealish I'll be moving on, I think, and I'll see which other midfielders I can get. Any tips, Matty, on the best... Sorry, Alex, on the best priced midfielders?
At the moment, the guys that are looked at being brought in is someone like a Josh King at Fulham, just because of the fact that Emil Smith-Rowe, I don't know if we saw the preseason photos of him, came into the off-season looking like he had enjoyed himself, let's put it that way. Really? Josh King's got big raps from a lot of the Fulham supporters, and Sarr, obviously, with that start, playing further up the pitch. I think he's going to have a good season as well, if you're looking for midfielders. Matty, is there anyone you're targeting to get rid of at the moment?
I'll probably stick without any trades this week.
Okay.
If I was going to make one, it would be Frimpong if he doesn't play.
Yeah. He's the one to look at.
Downgrade to someone to make a bit of cash for someone else.
And there's plenty of options back there defensively. My article that's going up today on the Supercoach website has a nice little rundown of some of the defensive options that are there. The forwards all seem to deliver. Any thoughts about Florian Wirtz? Either of you got Florian Wirtz in your team at the moment?
I don't have Wirtz yet.
No.
I've got him in a draft league, but I'm happy with that. But no, I don't think there's any need just yet.
Just classified as a striker.
That's the issue.
I was choosing between him and Gyökeres. Neither are looking good at the moment. So let's just see how things unfold. Thank you for joining us for SC Playbook, the EPL edition. Garby, Matty, thank you very much for being with us again today. We'll be back next week. Make sure you're tuning into all the Supercoach stuff that's going up across the website, and we'll be back to review Game Week 2 next time.